Good morning. So today I came to the Seal Canyon. As you can see, this is a beautiful place. I came here for sunrise. Sunrise didn't really happen here, but that's okay. There is some fog that is still pretty high in the hills, as you can see. I found a lot of fog this morning on my way here. It was very, very thick. I couldn't see 6 feet ahead of me. I stopped the car. I flew the drone at some point just to check out the conditions. It was a beautiful, beautiful sunrise, and there were a couple seas of clouds and fog that it was very beautiful. But I decided to stick with my plan. I still come here. I knew that it was going to be clear down here because the fog was, as I said, a little bit higher. I found myself in this situation very frequently in the past few weeks, where I have something in mind. I want to go somewhere with some images in mind, but on my way there I change my plans because I see fog or I see light, and then in the end the results are not good. I don't get what I want following this approach. So yeah, I decided to stick with my plan for today and come here. It's it's a kind of flat sunrise here, but I think that I can make some cool images. The place is all for myself, so that's always a plus. Yeah. This morning I'm shooting my first roll of Rollei 400S. After shooting the Rollei infrared, I wanted to try more of their stuff, and a lot of people recommended me these retro films, the 80S and the 400S. I have both, but since I was going to shoot here in the morning, I thought that the 400 would be better. I'm shooting it, exposing it at 400. This is my first time with this film, so I want to know what it looks like at box speed, and then the next, if I like it, I can experiment with pushing or pulling or whatever. My first shot of the morning. I got the tree on the top and then leaving some space for the hills in the background. I wanted to smooth out the water, so the exposure was 2 seconds. I had to do f7.1 and use a 6-stop ND filter for ASA 400. I hope it turns out well, because 2-second exposure, we are entering reciprocity failure territory, and I'm not really sure about the reciprocity failure of this film. So I don't know if the exposure is gonna be right. I don't know if 2 seconds are gonna be enough, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna take this shot now, even though a wide angle lens would have worked much better here. This is the widest I have. I don't have a wide angle lens anymore for my Bronica system. This is 80mm, that is like, 40-45 millimeter equivalent in 35. I'm just waiting for that stick to go away. Look. It's going very, very slow, but yeah, I don't want it in the frame. It's a little bit of a challenge to use the Bronica here with the two lenses that I have, the 80 and 150mm, because they are kind of, this is not a long lens by any means. This is a normal lens. The other one is relatively long lens, but none of them are wide. And this is like a tight space. It's a canyon after all, so that was a fish. I have to look for slightly different compositions, go maybe for the details instead of getting the whole vista of the canyon, and that's fine because it forces me to think a little bit more. Yeah, the stick is pretty much gone, so I'm gonna take this shot finally after waiting here for like 5 minutes. So this was another long exposure. It was a 4-second exposure at f9. Yeah, there is water, so that's why I'm taking long exposures, but I'm gonna have to find regular compositions for regular exposures because this is not a fair way to judge film stock. While I put this away, there is someone I need to introduce to the channel. This is Garou, and it's the new car that is finally here after 4 months. That means a lot of things, like it makes me happy. Also, it means we are going to start traveling very soon. As soon as tomorrow, we are going to Portugal. It's very exciting to have a car again. Expect many more trips and farther away trips too. As I said, next week we are going to Portugal, and then I'm going for another week to Asturias, and then in October, hopefully, we're going to go for a little bit more than a month to France, and then for next year there are plenty of trips planned. This car is going to spend a lot of time on the road. So, channel, this is Garou. Garou, this is the channel. Hi, it says hi. Okay, so I've been driving on this road along the river. I took 2, 3, maybe 4 shots with the Rollei, with the Bronica. It's because there was a big contrast between the highlights and from the sunrise, the sun rising, and above the fog and the shadows of the canyon. So I wanted to try the film, how it responds in these conditions. I'm sorry about the noise, but it is what it is. Turns out I still have 3 shots left, not 2, so I'm gonna take a couple here, one with the orange filter and one without the orange filter, to see the effect that this filter has on this film, and we can compare. This orange filter is a little bit dirty, so I always compensate 2 stops when I shoot this with this orange filter, and that works just fine for me. So for example, this shot is going to be f11 and 1/500th of a second. With the orange filter, it's going to be f5.6. 1/500th of a second. I'm gonna keep the shutter speed a high shutter speed because I'm gonna take it handheld. I don't wanna get the tripod out again, so yeah, that's why I'm opening the aperture all the way to 5.6. Otherwise I would shoot at f8, 2/50th of a second, something like that. Okay, now I'm gonna try to take the same shot without the orange filter at f11, as I said. Alright, that should tell us about the effect of the orange filter on Rollei 400S. So I believe that earlier this morning I said that I was in the Seal Canyon. I lied, I completely lied. This is not the Seal River, this is called Misc. So, oops, the dark slide. It's still the same area though, and the landscape is very similar with these canyons and rivers around. As you can see, it's all full of vines and grapes. Let me show you. There is very good wine here. It's a pity that I don't like wine as much. It's kind of cool to see. I don't know what to think about having all of these though instead of trees or forest, but anyway, it is what it is. So that one right there, that was the last shot of the roll. It's done now. I'm gonna take the roll out of here. So this is it, my first roll of Rollei Retro 400S. I'm looking forward to seeing the results. I'm gonna go home now and develop that roll and scan it because, as I said, we are leaving for Portugal tomorrow in the morning. So if I don't do it today, I'm not gonna be able to do it for at least another 2 weeks. I wanna know. I wanna know. So let's do it.